Hello again YouTube, it's DarthSteve333 here again with part 2 of the Mega Pickups video. If you've watched the last one, which I should have uploaded well, fairly recently, you'll know that I'm basically playing catch up with pickups, just basically because I've been really short of time to actually record a video or two. So without any sort of further waffling, I'll crack straight on. So again, the format of this will be, as usual, pretty haphazard. Trying to remember what I've found where. Probably a couple of sort of slightly off-topic things before I get too far into it. First thing was, this is something that I know at the cinema didn't do fantastically. I really wanted to see it, but my wife wasn't that fussed, so I ended up waiting until it came out on Blu-ray. I got the 3D version, which I can view in my VR, which is brilliant. That's how I viewed it. And it's this Ghost in the Shell, which I've watched and I quite liked it. I'm looking forward to watching it again quite soon, as it happens. So, you know, I know it's sort of divided opinion. I thought it was really rather a good film. So, you know, I'd say it's worth a watch anyway. So just so you can form an opinion, because obviously I heard lots of bad things about it, I suppose. But I thought, well, I'll be my own judge. So I went and bought it. I thought if I didn't like it, I could always trade it in. But as it happens, I do like it, and yeah, like I say, looking forward to watching it again. The other slightly off-topic thing, well, a couple of slightly off-topic things. I'll show you this thing next. This is for not a system, but a device that I don't actually own. But as you might know from my previous videos, and obviously from my my name, DarthSteve333, I'm a bit of a fan of Star Wars. Always have been, always will be. So I went into a charity shop and saw this. I mean, it wasn't exactly cheap. It was £10, but I saw it and I thought, oh, I've got to get me that. I have seen a couple of these. I think one of the first film in the series, about 2 years ago at the car boot, and rather foolishly didn't get it, and I've sort of regretted it ever since. So even though I don't have a player for it, I got Return of the Jedi on Laserdisc. Very nice condition. I'll quickly show you it. Won't show you the discs, because obviously I'd imagine people of my age and around that region will know what a Laserdisc looks like. But there it is. There's the back of it, and there's the thing opened out. I've now got to find myself a Laserdisc player, which I will be keeping my eyes open for. The charity shop where I found this was British Heart Foundation, so obviously I saw this, got it in me sweaty palms, and then moved straight down to the other end of the shop where they keep the electricals, to, you know, to see if they'd actually got a Laserdisc player. Sadly they hadn't, but I will be checking. So fingers crossed I find one. I mean, that I imagine to be somewhere probably between VHS and DVD in quality, and of course it will be the original non-special edition version of the film. So I figure that will be quite good once I finally get the means to play it. So anyway, moving back onto games. Don't normally mention this because I get this every month, but Retro Gamer, you may know, to tie in with the upcoming Super Nintendo Mini, has released issue 48 of Superplay, which is quite a nice little freebie. Certainly a freebie if you're a subscriber. I think it costs £1 extra if you buy it in the shops, but it's got little mini reviews of each of the games on the system. So I've got mine pre-ordered. I'm very much, having missed out on the NES Mini, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that, because there are some games that I'll never be able to afford on it, and obviously Star Fox 2, which obviously hasn't been released up until, well, about 3 weeks from now. So yeah, all good. try and put an unboxing and first impressions video up if I can. So you know, provided the place I've ordered it from doesn't cancel on me. But yeah, very much looking forward to having that. So right, on with gaming pickups. I'm trying to remember if I might have shown you some of these things before. So if I have, I am sorry about that. Let's start with a couple of current gen. I might have shown you this before, so like I say, if I have, I apologise. I mean, it is a good while since my last video, and to be honest, I haven't checked up on the content of that. So anyway, found this for not very many pounds. It's the Crew Ultimate Edition, although the disc in there does seem to be conventional. It does look like it's actually got codes in rather than on disc content, so if it's the Ultimate Edition, I'll be very pleased. If it's not, I won't be disappointed. This, I like the first game. I picked up the second game, which I actually got along with some other bits, including the third, I think it's the third birthday for PSP. I got a box copy of Frontier Elite 2 for, yeah, it was the Amiga, I think. Got that at the car boot I mentioned in my previous video, so I'm very much looking forward to playing this. I did think I might have mentioned it before though, because basically I've been holding off buying it for a while. I couldn't wait any longer. I'm hoping that, as they have done with the PC version, they bring this out in VR. If they do, I'll be over the moon. But it's, if you haven't guessed already, Elite Dangerous. Just still haven't taken out the packaging yet, because I am now playing Final Fantasy 15. So I expect to be tied up on that for a while, or in that for a while. Incidentally, those of you who like to game current gen as well, I did buy Destiny 2 the other day, but I haven't played it. The reason for that is I actually bought it for my wife, who admitted to really looking forward to it. And I says, okay, well, I'll buy a copy, and when it comes to her payday, she can either sort of buy a copy of her own or give me the money for that one. So there we go. So at some point I'll get it, whether that's in the next couple of weeks or so, or whether it's further down the line. I will get it, but I'm a little bit once bitten, twice shy with it. What with, you know, the last game, Destiny 1, having 3 or 4 expansion packs all at sort of £20–25 a pop, it makes it very expensive. And obviously, you know, you might have seen how quickly they've sort of, if you like, dropped Destiny 1. I find that a little disturbing, because obviously what's to stop them 2 or 3 years down the line bringing out Destiny 3, then dropping Destiny 2 like a stone. You know, you by that point you'd have probably invested 150, 200 quid on each game, or more. Especially now there's apparently microtransactions. You know, you're talking 300 or 400 quid on a couple of games that are, you know, going to be no longer supported. It's quite an expensive game, and not really a path I'm that fond of going down. But as I say, I will end up with it eventually. I just might wait until, you know, a collected content pack comes out. Anyway, moving off the current gen, going back a little bit, I found this. Oh, these these three at, actually, these 2.5 at the local car boot just over a week ago. This I picked up and then discovered there was no disc in it. Excuse me, sorry about that, I'm drying out already, I need a drink. And there's no disc in it. I says, oh, you haven't got the disc behind the, you know, not behind the counter because it was a car boot, but you know, you haven't got the disc for this separate, have you? And you went, oh, it's not in there. He says you can have that then. So I thought, yeah, I'll take you up on that. Sorry about that. The other two things I found, I do have this for, I believe, the PS4, but I thought this would be worth picking up, just because, you know, it's probably one of the last 360 games, you know, big budget to come out, I suppose, or amongst the last. Shadow of Mordor, and it's in good nick, and that cost me £1 or £2. I think it was £1. And then I saw this. Now I actually already have this particular game for PAL and NTSC. But when I saw it for this region, Japan, I thought, A, that's unusual, because this was picked up at the, what I affectionately refer to as the crappy car boot, the Saturday one, which is just round the corner from me. Couldn't quite believe it was there, to be honest with you. But I thought, well, I need, I'm going to get this. I'm a fan of the series. It's nice to have all 3 versions of it. It's Ridge Racers, and as you can see, it's Japanese, and it's ULJS 0001. So there it is, complete. And there we go, manual. And I think as old Daz Cajones Deloro would say, it's got Kadij, and I like that little Pac-Man ghost up the top there. So yeah, I couldn't resist that. £1. I'd have probably paid a little bit more for that anyway, but yeah, very happy to get that. So next, these were from the Recycle Centre. Sealed copy of Xbox Live Arcade, the promotional copy, which has got, talking of Pac-Man, got Pac-Man Championship on there, I think it is. Good game. I haven't tried the follow-up to it yet. And this little blast from the past, I do have this on a compilation, as part of the compilation pack, but it was nice to see this in the original box. So again, I couldn't resist this. This was £1 as well. It's Giant Citizen Kabuto. It's a very unusual game, but yeah, as you can see, it's complete. There's the disc, reference card, and a nice thick manual. So yeah, nice little find. Right, next. Now then, which of these do I have? Right. Now then, I found a PlayStation 1, original PlayStation. I think I might have shown you this on the last video. You got a bit of a dent in the bottom of it, but I'm planning on sort of transplanting the working PlayStation that I got for £2.50 with this Joytech multi-tap. Transplanting that into a better case of one that I've got without a working laser. So that is really good. I do believe I've probably shown you these. Yeah. Yes, I think I have. Sorry about this. I'm just looking in the bag. Yeah, there's the PlayStation. Bit scruffy, but it works. And there's the big crack in the bottom. So I'll go through this lot very, very quickly. Just pop this back in this bag. Basically, what I've done was we had someone round to upgrade the cable equipment. So I wanted the place looking reasonably tidy. So essentially, some of the stuff that I'd picked up recently has been put into bags and out the way. The net result being that I can't quite remember what I might have shown you before and what I haven't. So anyway, yes, I can't remember if I've shown you this. Doom 2, that was £1. It is complete, and it's got instruction manual, survival guide, a number of discs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 discs, and Tricks of the Doom Gurus, and some of the discs in there which I seem to have deja vu. I think I have shown you this before, so I'll pop that back away without checking what was on the other disc. Other things that I found, which I think I've shown you already. assorted things. Final Fantasy X-2, Assassin's Creed Rogue, whoops, which I've just dropped, hopefully it's still in one piece, Sniper Ghost Warrior, Alan Wake, Harry Potter Years 5 to 7, a better copy than one I picked up recently of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Final Fantasy 12, normal DVD copy of Rogue One. There's a chap at the car boot where I got most of that stuff from, with a few loose bits and bobs. I'm sure I've showed you this before. So I've got some Spectrum tapes that were 20p each, or might have been less. But I've got River Raid by Activision, Moon Alert, which I've never heard of, by Ocean, Frogger by Rabbit Software. Because I think he was going to throw this away if I didn't take it away, because he just wanted to go. Thomas the Tank Engine's Fun with Words. Yeah, I've got this deja vu feeling. I think I've shown you this before. So yeah, not normally my bag, this sort of thing, but you know, I was a sucker for. I don't like the idea of anything from that era being thrown away. So. Back it came with me. So yes, like I said, I think I've shown you that lot before. I did find this. I don't think I've shown you this. This was £1 also. Sorry, playing. Oh, I can't close it. Oh. But yeah, basically it's the PlayStation Move gun with Move controller and the little directional widget, which will be used for PS3 light gun games. More recently, I found this from a recycle centre, which is the little handgun version without any Move controller, but I have a few of those now. So I thought that'll be good if I can't be bothered getting the big one out, as it were. What else have I found recently? Yeah, I think I've showed you this. Not sure though. I've got a GunCon 2 and, rather disappointingly, I say disappointingly, a GunCon 3. Now the really annoying part with this was I got this for a couple of quid. And I was scrabbling through one of these tubs that they got, not scrabbling through it, but looking through it, and I actually saw what ended up being sensors that you put on your LCD screen for this. So whilst I've got obviously the gun with the directional bit, it's got sensors which I actually picked up and put down because I just didn't know what they were at the time. Got this home, had a look into it, how it worked. I just thought it would work off the PlayStation camera, and obviously I was wrong. I think. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Or you know, I'm hoping it perhaps it can work with the PlayStation camera, but I'm pretty sure it needs these sensors, which are like on long strips. Anyway, so yeah, I've got probably an obsolete bit of kit there. I did post up on the Facebook page for that particular car boot, you know, or if you were selling this and put a picture, you wouldn't happen to have the sensors still, I will happily pay for them to be posted to me if you still have them. But obviously, you know, the chances of whoever's sold stuff there, sort of A, going on the page, B, reading it, and C, being prepared to do that, very, very slim. So the hunt begins for some sensors for the GunCon 3 or G-Con 3. Same car boot, found a big box copy of Mario Kart Wii. I've got a big box with a wheel in, but I don't believe I've actually got it with, you know, the Mario Kart branded, if you like. It's got no sort of inserts, but I got that. That was, I think that was a £5. So yeah, I'll probably trade in my existing copy of Mario Kart Wii and maybe put the insert from my normal wheel into there. What else do we have? going back to the car boot that I mentioned in my last video from Skegness, I found another one of these and it works, and another Tomitronic Thundering Turbos, which I know I would have been very happy if one of the others were there as well, but I wasn't going to leave it there in old bits of kit like that, so I didn't. More recently, Recycle Centre saw these Lego Star Wars 2, Lego Batman, Lego Harry Potter. Unfortunately, no games in any of them. Don't know if someone swiped them or whether they've just not been put back in the box before they were donated to the Recycle Centre. So they were going to let me have those for free. I says, let me give you a few pence towards them. So they says, oh, well, 50p then. And I says, yeah, that's fine. Happily, you've paid a bit more, but yeah, they were happy with that, and so was I. What next? Let's put them there. A couple of miscellaneous bits and bobs. Yes, these were all from second most recent visit to Skegness and that car boot. My wife was with me that time. So I've got a copy of Nuclear Strike for the PlayStation. No manual, but the disc is okay. A beat up copy of Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. Now I do have this already, but the disc is absolutely battered on it. So that one's slightly better. This was 50p and it was in a fairly shabby state. Cleaned it up. Kingdom Hearts 2. Guilty Pleasure. I think I might already have this on DVD, but I wasn't going to leave it there in case I didn't. Darkman. That was 25p, and it was part of an offer where it was just like there was no price for single DVDs or games. It was basically 4 for £1. So obviously I was going home with that. And I thought, right, what else have they got? So I got a copy of Sims 2 Double Deluxe, another one. Medal of Honor Allied Assault Deluxe Edition, which I remember wasting lots of time with my mate back in the day. Very good fun game, and one of the first instances of us playing sort of online shooters really. Very, very good. I think I've bought this for him about 3 times and forgot that I'd done it. Splinter Cell, the original one. I do have this because it comes in useful for swapping out the hard drive and modify it, soft modding the Xbox, but my copy is the Platinum, or greatest hits version, whereas this obviously is the original, so that will come in nice and useful at some point. Right, this, as you can see, was 20p. I do have this already, good game, but I don't have the gold edition. I've got the actual game and the expansion. The game my wife bought me for Christmas many years ago now, and this was I think 20p as well. I think the chances are very high that the Steam code has already been used, but at 20p I thought I'll pick it up and give it a go. This was 50p. Connect Sports. Again, that's going to be traded. That can go towards something I do want to play. And this, I made reference to this briefly in my last video when I mentioned I found a PlayStation 2 for a £5. I tested that PlayStation with this that cost me £6, but as soon as I saw it I thought, oh, I'm having that. Probably not that cheap, but I had great fun playing through it. I completed it with only 40 continues. Metal Slug 5. And there we go. Very nice, very good, good fun. So, right, where are we at now? From that same car boot, I indulged myself without any ado, without any faffing and waffling. I saw this. Now the item that was in there is not in there anymore because it's here. It's a little app-controlled R2-D2, which I could not resist. It was 20 quid. I understand they go for a bit more than that, so I got myself a bit of a bargain there, and I'm well pleased. I love Star Wars, as you know. Very big fan of R2-D2. he sort of does several things independently, or you can control it with an app on your phone. So I had great fun playing with that and confusing the cat with it the other day. Excellent. I don't know how many R2D2s I have now. Another thing. This was from the same place that I got the PlayStation 2 for a £5 from. This was £2.50, as you can see. It's another one of these. Again, I find it very difficult to resist these. I had a good little game on Ms. Pac-Man the other night. Obviously works. We're coming towards the end now, I think. Let me just reach across here for a moment. Right, back again. Okay, miscellaneous bits. This is a charity shop thing, which obviously you can see I paid £1.99 for. Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction, which I'll be keeping. I haven't played that. Got Wii Sports, 50p I think. And after an unsuccessful day at the car boot, I stopped by the recycle centre and found this. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and it's the one with the soundtrack CD as well, which is rather nice. I do have that already, and I've had mine since new, so this will probably be a trade, but again, that will be put towards games that I don't already have. Right, now then, these are from, actually let's break it up a little bit. My folks went to the Lake District the other day. They come back. They said, because there's a very, very nice Oxfam there and a couple of good charity shops. And I asked them to keep their eyes open. I mean, they've got no idea what I don't have, what I do have. But they said they would. And I got a phone call and they asked me if they'd seen something and asked if I wanted it. And I said, oh yeah, I haven't got one of them. It would be rather nice to have one. So they managed to get it for me quite cheap. So this is what they brought me back. Kendall Milk mint cake. Don't worry, it's not this, but it is nice. They got me, unfortunately the game that came with this has been taken off, but I've got a boxed Pokemon Alpha Sapphire 2DS, which is rather nice. So like I say, it hasn't got the game on. It works a treat. It's got a charger in there, and very, very nice of my mum and dad. I was going to give them the money for it when they brought it back, but they said it was a present, so that was really nice of them. So dead chuffed for that. So right, yeah, the weekend just gone. Went to the last running of my favourite car boot. Nothing what you would describe as probably outstanding there, but I found some nice bits and bobs. And quite a few of these things I actually got from the same guy. Visited him a couple of times. First off, I found this little selection of things. He was basically a collector, and he's got more games than me by the sound of it. He was telling me he built a double garage, and he got his collection in there. He got several complete sets, which takes some doing. I said to him, I'm only actively going for Dreamcast, at least at the moment, and I seem to be stuck on about 81-82% at present. Partially my own fault, because I need to start sort of trading some stuff in and building that again. So I suppose it gets harder as you get towards the end, doesn't it? Anyway, I had a nice chat to him, and these are basically his doubles. So got a GameCube game without the manual that I don't have, but Red Faction 2. I got this for nieces, a loose copy of Mario Kart DS. And then these, I have this for the Master System. It's Dragon Crystal. He did have Fatal Labyrinth as well. He had a box copy US version, which came in the manual, and he'd got a loose cart PAL version, and I couldn't remember if I've actually got it, so I need to check that. Hopefully I already have. It seemed to ring bells, but I know Fatal Labyrinth and Dragon Crystal are sort of linked in a way. The other things I got, Moonwalker loose cart for the Master System. Never played either version of that. I haven't even played the arcade version, so I understand it's rated quite highly. So looking forward to having a play. Also got DJ Boy, which I can't recall ever seeing previously. I don't think it's particularly rare or anything. It's again a loose cart, but having picked it up, I think it's certainly going to be worth a go. The last thing I got from him on that particular occasion was a Game Boy Advance game, Super Street Fighter Turbo Revival, which I've had a little go on, and it's amazing what they've actually crammed into this little cartridge. It's a good play. So all of that lot, all of that lot minus the Mario Kart DS was 15, which I thought was quite decent, and then obviously he charged me a £5 for that. So I was quite happy with that, and I actually went back to him later on just to see if he'd put anything else out, and he had got a few extra bits. A couple of things sort of took my fancy, but I eventually sort of decided on this, which is a game I actually played against Dominic Diamond at the Virgin Megastore in Birmingham back in the early 90s. It was like a celebrity visit. I think you could play him at either FIFA or this particular game, and I did, and I beat him 1-0, which was amazing really, because I was terrible but he was even worse. And it's NHLPA Hockey 93. It's the Genesis version as opposed to the Mega Drive version, but I got this mainly for nostalgia's sake, so there it is. That cost me a £5, so I was more than happy to pay that. Had another chat to the chap, really nice bloke, so yeah, good luck to him in his game collecting. So other bits and pieces, this was loose. This cost me 50p, Skyrim, which will be traded in. I don't think it trades in for much, but I couldn't leave it there for 50p. These particular games here were £2 each, so tenner for the lot. I didn't ask if they'd discount it any further. I thought that was decent enough as it was. So I'll be keeping the first couple, which is Batman Arkham City Game of the Year edition. Be keeping that because although I've got the original game, I don't have all the DLC. I'm hoping again that is all on disc rather than being a code. Happy to get this. A bit disappointed that there's no manual in it. I don't know if there was supposed to be a manual in it, but it's Silent Hill Homecoming, so that'll be a keeper as well. Then I've got Skate 2 and Skate 3. They will be traded, as will Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Not the Ultimate version, but there it is complete. So yeah, again, that will be traded to raise funds, maybe to get some more Dreamcast games. Couple of miscellaneous bits here. After some umming and ahhing, I realised I could probably do with this. This cost me £8, which I thought may have been a bit excessive, but it's a nice big size. It's an 8GB memory stick Pro Duo for use in the PSPs. Oh yeah, not games, but I know this only came out for £1.99. This cost me 50p. It's the first part of Hush, Batman story. Not read it, so looking forward to reading it. If I am enjoying it, I'll try and seek out part 2. These were £1 each. I find it, as I've mentioned before, very difficult to resist these, even though I never really read them. For all the games I get them for, it's like an accompaniment as much as anything. So I've got a strategy guide for Pokemon Black and White 2, £1, and a strategy guide for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, again £1. And with that, the same guy was selling this, which I have mentioned in previous videos when I picked up some DVDs of most of the series. Battle of the Planets Classic Issues Volume 1. I mean, who can resist that? I absolutely did love that show when I was a kid, and yeah, fantastic. That was 50p. I had to have that. The last couple of things I got from there, these have got little stickers on, which you'll see say 10 and 8. And I've actually got these quite recently, as I mentioned in my previous video for Pete, the ferret chap. I went back after umming and ahhing and asked if they'd take 15 for the 2, and they said yeah. So I've got Resident Evil 2. It's not complete. It's got platinum discs in it and no manual, but I think I'll probably trade that in at my local retro game shop, as I will with this after I've sort of traded up the case. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, which is complete with the manual. There we go. Basically, like I say, that'll help me get some games that I don't have. So all good. So that is pretty much that. Apart from my best mate has had a clear out recently, and he said he got a few bits that I could have. Otherwise, he was going to take them up the tip or the charity shop or something. So he came round, and I was just expecting him to drop, from what he'd said, drop us a couple of things in. Oh, before I do that, a couple of other things I found recently. I don't know if I've shown you them. Those two, Super Mario Brothers and Sims 2. I think I might have mentioned them previously. But yeah, he brought me a tub of interesting stuff, and in this bag, I have to take my word for it, there is a PS3 with the hookups, with a controller, dusty, but a controller. With that, I can't show you this because I've left it over the other side of the room, a Game Boy Pocket, which I've been looking for. I've been looking for a silver Game Boy Pocket because I still have the box for my original one that I traded in all those years ago. He got a silver Game Boy Pocket, which is given to me. So that completes the box that I had with the instructions and everything. So that's awesome. I've spent several hours playing Tetris on it. A Game Boy Advance with Scooby-Doo and Masked. With the Game Boy, there were some games. Super Mario Land, DuckTales, Dragon's Lair, Batman, and Donkey Kong. With that, he also gave me a Wii, which I think might be one that I modded for him many years ago now for his kids. And obviously the hookups and everything for the Wii. What else? Third party Wii controller. First party Wii controller. All the hookups and stuff. A big tub of Skylanders figures and a few Disney Infinity ones, and these things. And there was also, he also gave me a great big bunch of PS3 games, which I don't actually have to hand, but probably 10 pretty decent PS3 games, and a PSP, which again I think has been modded, and there it is. So I have fairly recently gone from having my old trusty PSP to having probably 4 or 5 PSPs now, which is quite astounding really. I was absolutely taken aback with what my mate gave me, and he sort of said to me, he says, look, he goes, I realise you probably won't use all of that stuff. If you want to trade anything in, just do it. I was like, seriously? What I think I'll probably do is, you know, I'll work out what I'd like to keep. I will trade some stuff in, but I will try and treat him to something decent, because he games on PS4 now. He doesn't really hold on to his retro stuff. So You know, depending on how much of it I trade, like I say, I mean the hardware I shall most probably hold on to. The Skylanders figures I'll probably get those traded in. But yeah, depending on how much I make, I'll get him something really sort of nice that he can make use of. I know he absolutely loved my PlayStation VR when he had a go on it. I doubt I'll be able to sort of trade in enough to get him one of them, but I can certainly perhaps do something that might help him in his quest to get one of those. So you know, fingers crossed. But yeah, he's sort of insistent. He doesn't want anything out of it. But that's my mate for you. He's an absolute diamond. He's the same chap that found Chaos for me when I'd been looking for it for 20 years for the Spectrum. He's the same chap that managed to find a Vectrex at a car boot sale. Remembered that I'd lusted after one of them since I was a kid. Probably bored him to tears talking about them, and then managed to hold on to it and not say anything for 9 months until my 40th birthday. The guy's an absolute legend, so he's unbelievable. So if there's anything I can do to help him, you know, I will do my best to do so. So anyway, yeah, quite a busy period of pickups, to be honest. I'm sure there's probably stuff I've missed, as I'm sure there's probably stuff I've shown you before, but wow. I really can't complain this last car booting year. I've managed to find some great things, and you know, I'll continue to sort of go to the car boots, which are winding down a bit now. Like I say, my favourite one has had its last one of the year, which means that fairly soon the other ones will sort of die down and then stop for the winter, and then it'll be a fairly infrequent one that happens every few weeks, and maybe a couple of fairly rubbish local ones on hard standings, which you never know what you find. And I'll continue having a look in the car boots, and not the car boots, in the charity shops, and basically see what I can find on local selling pages, and I'll keep trying to sort of pick things up. But for the time being, I will be sorting through all of the stuff that I've got, working out what to keep, what to trade on, to build funds for purchases, and yeah, the collection continues. So yeah, you know, stay tuned. Like I said, my videos are never particularly regular, so I am sorry about that. Hopefully these two that I've filmed over the course of this evening will keep you going for a bit. I'll keep trying to find some more interesting stuff and post when a reasonable amount of things have been found. But for the time being, thank you to everyone that's liking and subscribing and commenting on my videos. Quick hello to Gamesomatic. I've been meaning to try and send you a PM. Really very kind offer to send me something. Problem is, I tend to do a lot of my stuff on my phone, and I can't get through to the messaging system on my phone. So when I sort of upload this on my PC, I will get a message off to you, provided obviously you haven't withdrawn the offer due to the ridiculous amount of time I've left it before getting in contact again. So, you know, if you decide to withdraw that very nice offer you made, I completely understand. So anyway, like I say, thank you to everyone that watches, that likes, subscribes, comments. Thank you to my regular thumbs down guy or girl. I have no idea why you keep thumbs down in. Tell me, you know, it's probably my monotone voice. It could be the variable light quality, or the poor camera work, or the lack of editing. You know, there's any number of reasons. You know, it would be nice to know, but if you choose not to say anything, then that's fine. But anyway, for everyone that's watched, thank you very much, and hopefully speak to you all again soon. Bye.